Hey everyone, welcome back to Blossoming Souls. It is Sunday, April 28th when I am recording this, and this is your Sacred Sunday message, as it is every Sunday. And it is always my honor, my joy, my pleasure to bring you these messages and to be with you on this interesting journey with all the twists and turns that we go through. And it's important to have and to share that energy for support, to have the energy from Spirit and the love from our angels and the guidance from all of our guides, those who are energetic beings of light, those who have crossed over for support, and to your divine creator, who in my own personal life I call God, to love us and guide us and to support us through this journey. Before we begin our message, let's breathe in and out a few times to kind of clear the air, to make room for this message, and so it can be applied how it should be applied in everyone's life, in everyone's path. We all have our own unique path, and so parts of this message may apply and parts of the message may not, but it is how the energy falls in regards to your path. Take a moment to kind of just close your eyes if you can, if you're in a safe place, not driving. Close your eyes and breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Clearing the air, bringing in the good, healthy, clean, energetic, loving air. Feeling your chest rise and fall. 1 or 2 more breaths. Knowing that there is no judgment here. There is no time here. It is only in the energy of love and light that this message comes to you. And doesn't it feel good to clear the air and the energy through your body, knowing that the energy is moving and clearing things and shaking things up to prepare you for a message from Spirit. Today I'm going to use cards that I'm going to start with these cards. I felt as if when I was meditating this morning, I was feeling simplicity. The simplicity of truth was coming in. That's what I was hearing. And it brought me back to a memory of when I purchased these cards years ago. I don't know if you're familiar with this author, Don Miguel Ruiz, The Voice of Knowledge. And it's interesting because when I was meditating, I was asking for guidance, what messages, what cards to use, what messages are going to come through. And Don Miguel Ruiz, he created these cards because he felt led to speak of something, just the simple truth, right? The only way to end our emotional suffering and restore our joy in living is to stop believing in lies, mainly about ourselves. He shows us how to recover our own faith in the truth and return to our own common sense. Then he opens the door to a reality that we once perceived when we were 1 and 2 years old, a reality of truth, love, and joy. And that is interesting because when I was, a lot of times when I wake up and I meditate and I feel immediately, I know what the topic is because I've been seeing it in visions, I've been hearing it. But today was sort of a simple message. It feels like simple yet powerful message is what I was feeling this morning. Was kind of like, interesting. There is no specific one. And then I remembered these cards. And so when I looked at them, it was the confirmation that I needed. Because yes, this message is about truth. And so in shuffling the cards, I was meditating over the cards and sort of making the cards a little looser, because some cards, if you haven't used them very much, they get sticky with each other, and this one was loose already. So I just want to show you the first card that popped out. Our true nature is to play and explore, to live in the moment, to enjoy life. And if you see the beautiful, innocent energy of these children, one of them on top of a pig, just enjoying herself, and almost like a child's imagination and true color here, right? And so our true nature is to play and explore. It is interesting that as we were born, when we were born innocent. We were born in most cases in the energy of love and in the energy of innocence. And as we grow throughout our lives, we are taught to fear. We are taught to distrust. We are taught to feel unworthy of riches. We are taught to be on guard. And so I feel an unfair advantage growing up and starting out innocent and growing up into, this tangled web of negativity. And so in reading this card on the other side, there's a reverse to it, a reverse side. It says, as little children, we are completely authentic. Our actions are guided by our instinct and emotions. We listen to the silent voice of our integrity. No one teaches us to be that way. We are born that way, right? So what happens along the way? How does that disappear? How does that sort of take the back seat to survival mode? As I feel that many have been living in that survival mode for years, and now it feels like it's even more prevalent to sort of live in that survival mode where we can't trust, for instance, the internet. We can't trust people who steal our identities, who are hackers who hack in to steal money from us. People who are unaware sometimes. So for things like that, yes, we are on our guard. But in general, throughout life, our parents, their parents, their parents, all of our ancestors, it feels, were over the lifetimes, it feels like it has gotten more and more further away from who we were born to be innocently as children. It has gotten worse. We are born in truth, but we grew up believing in lies, okay? And I believe when he says that we grew up believing in lies, it's that our true nature was sort of put away, and we were taught as parents, teaching us. We sort of don't realize as parents that we're being negative, but it did have a profound impact on my life growing up. As I shared with you before, my father was a very simple yet pessimistic person who believed that you didn't need more than a pair of pants and two shirts. And he wanted to stay as far away from wealth as possible. He didn't want his children to believe that it was okay to be or want to be wealthy. And I believe that was more than just financial. It was emotional. It was how he felt inside. And so as kids, we learned to distrust money. Our relationship with money was never good because that's what we were taught. And that's what my dad believed, and not knowingly, not consciously trying to sabotage our financial lives, emotional and well-being lives. But that's what he was taught. That's the way he knew. One of the biggest lies in the story of humanity is the lie of our imperfection. When we believe this, we use the lie to judge ourselves, to punish ourselves, and to justify our mistakes. And it feels like it's too easy to justify our mistakes by self-doubting ourselves and self-criticism and self-loathing and all of that. But Spirit says on the flip side, we are in the infinite energy of love and light. That's how we were born. That's how we were created. In my view, in my divine creator's creation, that's perfection in the eyes of God. I am God's creation. I don't need to be what I am not. I am perfect because I am inseparable from the infinite, the force of life that creates the stars and the entire universe of light. I feel like some of you might be feeling like you don't deserve to have a better life, that you don't deserve to live your best life. I feel like a lot of you have been going through self-criticism, self-loathing, doubting your decisions. And for a lot of you, it could be even a loved one or someone close to you that does judge you in that way. I don't know who this message is for, but it feels very personal, like on a personal level of those deep, intense feelings of, just when you start feeling like you are, you're going to make it, you're going to, you're just going to turn the corner, you're going to be stronger spiritually, someone comes along and kind of shoots that down. And this is not a negative message. It's for somebody out there who is feeling this way. And Spirit says, don't you know that you're stronger than that? You're stronger than anyone who can come and try to tear you down. You are a pillar of strength by nature. You are love, you are light, you are energy from above. And nobody can tear down your tower. You're the only one who can tear it down or build it up. And believe me, I've been around people who can really push my buttons. They really know how to make me feel intense emotions. And it has been my experience that I've always allowed that because I just thought that was natural. You push my buttons, yeah, that I'm going to allow that because that's who you are. No, you can do what you want to do, but I am my own person and I can rise above that if I choose to. And so I feel like my soul, my energy that I was born with, the organic authenticity of who I was born to be is coming through. And that's why I am gaining the strength now to rise above that and to choosing to see my own goodness rather than someone's darkness. And that's what Spirit is trying to say here today for all of us, is that don't believe the lies of who someone else thinks you are. Believe in the truth of how you were created and who you were destined to be. And that is a cliche. The truth will set you free, but it really is the truth. The truth will set you free, and the truth is your key to freedom, personal happiness, and joy and stability. The key is within you, in your hands. And so on this journey and being around people who are negative, who are self-defeating, and who project their own insecurities onto other people has only strengthened me. And so, part of me wants to be like a kid and say, nah, 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 joke's on you. But there is a reason why people come into our path, into our lives. And I feel that as a willing participant, you will come out of it stronger than going through all of that, whatever it is that you went through, if you understand what I'm trying to say. There is going to look at the map deck now real quick because I feel drawn to it. And the first card that popped out was the Stormfields, right? The tower, your tower, whatever tower moment is coming, or is here is in your highest good. Tearing down the walls to expose the truth. Tearing down your tower to expose the core of you, your heart, your soul, your authenticity, being exposed to reveal the truth, the real you, that shiny gem that's been hiding behind all of the untruths, all of the criticisms, the judgments throughout your life. But nobody knows the real authentic you except you and your divine creator. Even though we think we know people throughout our lives, we give birth to them, we raise them, we see their personalities forming, we don't really know anybody except our own selves. And Spirit says sometimes you don't even know you. And that's why this tower moment is happening. It's happening because we need to tear down those walls and see who we are inside. Not who we were created to be, who we are, who we were born to be. And I was telling somebody the other day that I'll just say it this way. In the last 6 months or year, I've started to see someone's true nature. And it took me by surprise at first because I never saw her that way before. And now I see the real who she is, right? Her core personality. And part of me at first was like judgy and, I just really can't stand the person that she really is, and I don't want to be around her. Well, it's okay to not be around that kind of energy, because if it affects you negatively, then you don't want to be around that. And so that brings me to the reality of truth of who we are, right? She wasn't born that way. She was created that way by her parents. And so it started me on this path of thinking about and feeling into, who are we really? Was she always that way? I'm going to say no. Not when she was born. And not for the first year or two. So I feel like we don't know who we really are sometimes. We are created and conditioned to be the person that we've become, and we think that's normal. And so it feels like Spirit is trying to say, be patient with yourself and others, knowing that their behavior is not what you want in your life. That's okay. But also realizing that in order to heal, we have to unlearn things that we learned. And it is a long process. And so in comes the word patience, which nobody likes. But I did see that card when I was shuffling through one of the decks this morning. And it did remind me that, yes, we have to be patient with ourselves. Okay? We have to be patient with our growth, our healing. And paired with that card is the Archangel Raphael card that is here with this tower moment. Because I do believe that for a lot of us, we're going through this learning curve in regards to our own soul, back to simplicity, back to human nature, I shouldn't say human nature, because human nature right now is not the most positive, but back to who we were organically born to be. And this is interesting. This deck by Don Miguel Ruiz, because there's so much. This is such a powerful deck. I'm going to read the next one to you. I create my story according to truth instead of lies, right? When I refuse to believe in lies, everything in my life changes, just like magic. As I recover the power of my faith, my will is free again, and what I can do with that has no limits. And so I can tell you, card after card after card is a different statement each time, but it's so truth, and it hits home. And so for who this applies to, Spirit is trying to say, the only truth is yours, okay? Trust your truth, and that will set you free. And so it feels like slow and steady progress is happening here, but it's so important that we allow these changes to come through, because they are an integral part of our growth, of our success going forward. You want to have the best life. You want to be the best you can be. Allow yourself to set yourself free. Yes, you have your angel here to help you heal the ouch, right? If you see these two cute little animals here, one of them is nurturing the other, and they're not the same species, they're different. And so Spirit is saying, yeah, your authenticity is coming through, and the person that you were raised to be is, some aspects of that are fading out, okay? You get the rescue card, you are being rescued from who you were never intended to be, okay? If that makes sense. And that doesn't mean that who you are now is a bad person. It means you're not authentic and you haven't been who you really were created to be. Some of you have no idea that you have a very special talent or gift to help others, to help humanity. Some of you don't realize that you are, and just saying as this comes in, love coaches. Love meaning loving yourself, loving others, healing relationships, maybe being a relationship coach or therapist. Some of you don't realize you have these beautiful healing gifts because you have covered up the truth of who you are just by no fault of your own. And so that tower moment is your walls coming down to expose the real you. We did get the coming together card and the two giraffes with the hearts and the, I think it's a duck on the top. And the number 8 on top of the card is an infinity card. So Spirit is saying you're coming together. Your soul is aligning with your truth, who you really are. It does feel like a lot of you are going to have a come to Jesus moment where you're going to realize that how much better you feel inside when you reveal the truth of who you are, okay? Now, however that applies, that applies. I feel like there has been some moments of clarity, some moments of emotional, I was hearing emotional freedom, because with clarity comes emotional freedom. With clearing your, those toxic energies within you, emotions are very sensitive. I know when things are changing within me, I tend to have moments of sadness, crying, almost feelings of grief, and feeling lost sometimes, but also feeling like that it's only momentarily that I'm lost, that I need to purge through tears or whatever way my creative expression through art, to clear those energies and to bring us that much closer to our authenticity. Speaking of art, I'm just used my latest painting in the background to share with you what I just finished painting yesterday. It is my passion. It is therapeutic for me. It is an outlet for me. And as spiritual beings and human beings, we are constantly having to shed something and clear something out of our energetic space. So it's important to have outlet to be able to shift that energy and to trigger movement within your path, right? Within your energetic being, to clear something out and bring in something new. Let's see here. What else do we have from this powerful card deck? faith is the power of creation that all humans have. If we invest our faith in a lie, that lie becomes truth for us. If we believe we are not good enough, then they will be done. Then thy will be done. We are not good enough. If we believe we will fail because that is the power of magic of our faith. Imagine how powerful is that we can wake up and we can decide to be happy, or we can decide to be mad, or we can decide to be sad, right? We are writing our script for that day. We are, some might say, well, you're just allowing your emotions to come through. Yes, but if we have faith and trust in ourselves to make those decisions on how we feel that day, then don't we have the ability to say, okay, I can allow my emotions to come through because something sad happened in my life, but I can control that to a point where it doesn't drag me down all day where I can't do anything. And so I feel like this card is saying you have the freedom here to decide, how is my life going to go, right? Am I going to stay trapped all my life? Am I going to stay in submission to someone else's judgments or criticisms, mood swings, whatever it might be? Or am I going to do something for me and be powerful enough to say, no, this is not who I am. That's your deal. If that's who you are, you go be that way within yourself. But that cannot affect me anymore. We have the power to create our own scripts every day of our lives. And yes, there are things that happen that are fated, things that happen that are beyond our control. But for the most part, I firmly believe that our divine creator gave us the ability to, and the power to make those decisions to say, no, I'm not going to infect everybody else today with my bad mood. I'm going to lift myself out of this. I'm going to become a stronger, more powerful person within myself to live my best life, to be the best me that I can be. And I'm not going to allow anybody else to trigger something or project something onto me that's really what they're feeling. Yeah, look at that, what I just said, and look at the card. The truth is perceived with our feelings, right? When we try to describe the truth with words, we distort it. It is no longer truth. It's our story. The story may be true for us, but that doesn't mean it's true for anyone else or anything else, right? If you ever played that game, it's a game where someone starts off with a phrase or something, and it goes in a circle. Everybody has to repeat the phrase, and by the end of the cycle, the truth, whatever that phrase was, is totally distorted most times. And so that's what I feel is happening here. So it's interesting, human nature, how we perceive things and how we convince our brain that it's this way or it's not that way. The truth changes from one person to the next, right? That's how gossip is so damaging as well. But so the one person that started with that statement that was authentic, it turns out that statement comes back to that person, but it's not what they started out with, right? So it's interesting how we perceive things, how everybody perceives things in a different way. And eventually that truth becomes an untruth because of the way someone perceived it. Not necessarily how they changed it purposely, but how they perceived it. And that's how it came out in the end. And so we have the ability to not let that affect us, right? Somebody else's opinion or how they perceive things, that's their deal, not ours. Stay in your own lane, stay in your own path, is what Spirit's trying to say here. I'm just going to do one more shuffle with the map cards and see what Spirit has to say. here, I'm just going to use this card because it was at the bottom of the deck, but now it's at the bottom of the deck again after I shuffled. It is the Mountain card. And so Spirit says, this mountain here, though, it looks as if there is this mountain has sort of been hidden within, almost like in the darkness, because I see a moon shining down on that mountain to reveal that mountain is there, right? And so that's what Spirit is saying. There's a tower moment here to put a light on that something within you that has to be revealed. Your truth, the beauty of who you really are. And I know I've talked to other people before who feel like, if my parents would only believe and support me in my beliefs, and what I believe in regards to energy, religion, faith, whatever it is. But it really is okay if they don't, because that's not who they are. And I did do a reading for somebody one time who was worried that her family would disown her if they knew that she was so passionate about all things spiritual. And, I feel like, I do feel that when it comes to family, family is family. They love you no matter what. But there are some things that people have kind of kept to themselves, within themselves, that they have not allowed themselves to be the very best that they can be because they're afraid of family judging them. However, it is very important that you are who you are and you don't suppress that, because it just dampens your own light and your own energy. Now, there are boundaries, yes. I know from experience with my own sister that she doesn't support or believe in my gifts to know when others from that have passed over are coming through, or my gifts to give these messages. She believes only God can have the ability to have those gifts, right? No one else has those. And so we agree to not talk about it with each other because she gets upset and feels that it is not something good. So love my sister and we still talk, but we don't talk about that. She respects the fact that I have these gifts, and I respect the fact that she doesn't believe in them. That's okay. That's her path, not mine. And so that's what Spirit's trying to say. Be your authentic self. Let others believe what they want. And don't judge them harshly, because they are who they are. They have their own set of beliefs. They have their own path to follow. You have yours. You shine your light authentically and let everybody else be. Okay? That's what Spirit's trying to say. Let's see if there's anything else here, guides. I do want to do some cards from the Power Thought cards from Louise Hay. She created Hay House Radio. And she has been through a lot in her life. She is now passed on. But I do feel her beautiful, loving energy a lot when I do these readings, because she was somebody who came up in life with some, made some mistakes and received much criticism, and was even, in my view, cast aside for some decisions that she made. But it brought her to a place where she really explored her inner truth, and she started getting into spirituality, emotions, behaviors, all of that, and she became this beautiful force, this beautiful energy to inspire and encourage others to believe in themselves. And the first card that pops out is I am willing to change, right? See the butterfly? I am willing to release old negative beliefs. They are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. And so that's what this tower moment is. The tower moment is tearing down the old beliefs, the old thoughts, the old way of feeling about yourself, about your self-worth, about your worthiness in regards to well-being, mental stability, joy, happiness, wealth, all of the above. And so here, life purpose supports me, right? Life created me to be fulfilled. I trust life, and life is always there at every turn. I am safe. And so Spirit can't say this enough, guys. This is a time of change, a time to come back to you. And that is not selfish, that's selfless. Coming back to you, your authenticity, your inner empowerment, your growth, seeing the beauty of who you are inside, and understanding more about yourself. I'm telling you, you're doing a deep dive into your own spirituality, your own truth. And I feel like in a matter of months, you're not going to recognize yourself. And others around you might feel a bit uneasy because you're not who you were in regards to your own strength and your joy and your stability. I've been learning a lot lately about our own inner strength, our own magic within ourselves, and believing in miracles and believing that miracles are here for us and always have been, because we are miracle. We are a miracle of creation. We are created in a miraculous way. And being that we are miracles, why would we not attract miracles into our lives? And so I'm going to close this message out in a minute, but I want you to understand that when you believe that you are a miracle, and that miracles come naturally, you are on your way to freedom, to personal healing and happiness. And it does feel like we're all in need of that beautiful healing to bring us into our best lives. One more card. I am safe, and it is only change. I cross all bridges with joy and ease. The old unfolds into wonderful new experiences. My life gets better all the time. Okay, before we close this out, let's just do another breathing exercise and a little affirmation, and then we'll be on our way. Taking a couple deep breaths in and out. In and out. And just listen while we do this affirmation. I am made in the energy of love and light. I am made in the energy of truth and happiness and joy. I am meant to be stable, wealthy, healthy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I have a right to all those things because I am made in the image of the most divine. You are the light in the darkness, and you are the darkness in the light. You are the joy, you are the peace, you are the love, and you are the power. I hope you have enjoyed this message. Until next time, namaste.